If you want to play like the best streamers in the world, check out Shroud's Valorant setup. Michael Shroud is currently one of the most famous streamers in the world. Michael is known for his professional career in CSGO, but he became famous for his phenomenal plays in PUBG. Shroud had a very successful professional career. However, he decided to give it all up and become a full-time streamer. He then became a variety streamer and tries every game that is released. In fact, he gets a lot of sponsored streams to try new games. And now Shroud is obsessed with two games, New World and Valorant. After trying the Valorant beta, Shroud fell in love with Valorant and has been enjoying it ever since. What mouse does Shroud use? Shroud uses the Logitech G303 Shroud Edition. There are quite a few players who prefer to use them. They are very lightweight, have low click latency, and are very solidly built. They also have a good cable and the mouse feet move smoothly. Shroud Pro Mouse Settings. Professionals should not only use the best wireless mouse that feels most comfortable, but also the perfect mouse settings. It is recommended to find the mouse sensitivity and settings that feel most comfortable for you, but it is also a good idea to look at the best sensitivity for Valorant that other professionals use and have a standard to work from. You can compare your sensitivity to it. We have Shroud's Pro settings for you to try out for yourself. If you want to get better and rank up in Valorant, you need to make sure that you are comfortable with the optimal sensitivity and mouse settings. Shroud Crosshair Settings. Professional players like Shroud also need to be comfortable with the crosshair they use in order to aim perfectly. Many fans want to try out Shroud's Valorant settings to see if it suits them. Many of the best Valorant players use a cyan crosshair for several reasons. It is visible on almost every surface and enemy. It's bright enough to stand out from most backgrounds and never get lost. Other pros prefer a small dot as a crosshair because it takes up less space on the screen and allows them to see their opponents more easily. This allows them to get headshots more often with a single tap. However, Shroud and others believe that using a dot crosshair in Valorant can make the crosshair harder to see and the recoil harder to control. Shroud's keybind settings. Shroud's Valorant keybinds are almost identical to the default setup, as are most Valorant Pro setups. The only difference from the default setup is that the use equip ability key binding has been changed. Many professionals do this to make it easier to move when using their skills. Ability 1 remains C, but the keybinds for the other three abilities have all been changed to his liking. Shroud made some changes to his default keybind setup. One difference is that he moved jump to mouse wheel down. Many pro players changed his keybind in games like CSGO and Valorant, as this makes bunny hopping much easier and improves movement. Another difference between Shroud's Valorant setup and the default is that, like most pros, he has moved his ability keybinds to mouse buttons. This makes it much easier to maintain good movement while performing moves. Shroud video settings. Shroud uses an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4090 and an Asus ROG PG27 AQDM 360Hz monitor. For professional gamers, it is important to use a high-frequency monitor to get the best and most immersive competitive gaming experience. Although Shroud uses the most powerful graphics card available, he plays with the lowest possible graphics settings to further maximize his FPS and avoid his PC's performance slowing down during critical phases of the game. It's a bit old, but it's worth checking out to get a better understanding of the pros and cons of some settings. These settings allow you to experience what it feels like to play Valorant the way Shroud does. We recommend using the settings that you feel most comfortable with. However, fans should also try these settings and see if they suit them. You can use this as a base and make small changes as needed. Shroud's Pro settings will take your gameplay to the next level, whether you're a new player looking to improve quickly or a veteran player looking for a change. Shroud Pro Map Settings. The mini-map is a useful part of the Valorant interface for players. Proper mini-map settings are important to effectively gather as much information as possible. This allows players to see what's going on around them and on the other side of the map. Shroud's gear. Before we move on to Shroud's game settings, we need to clarify a few things. However, it's clear that gaming gear is different from your usual hardware. As you can see, all professional gamers use state-of-the-art gaming equipment to perform better in the game. We expect professional gamers, especially those like Shroud, to use the best gaming equipment available. Playing Valorant with stable FPS is a must for competitive players. This often requires upgrading your PC to keep up with the new hardware requirements. Shroud owns a modern gaming PC and can easily play Valorant, especially at low settings, but its components are enough to achieve high and stable frame rates in Valorant, and that's all. Also, Shroud has a separate PC for gaming, with the same GPU and CPU as his gaming PC. Yes, that's an exaggeration, but this will ensure you get the best quality streaming. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on the latest news and updates. Drop a comment below sharing your favorite gaming setup tips or what you'd like to see next on the channel. Let's build a gaming community together.